What's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Life in TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of Buried by the Bernards. It's been a couple weeks since I did a recap and review on this, but I'm glad I did it now because for the past few days, actually the past week or so, I told y'all TV has been depressing the heck out of me. And it's funny that a show that deals with a funeral service business is what actually uplifted my spirits, at least for a little while. I'm telling you. This episode of Buried by the Bernards is called New Kid on the Block, and it's really got to do with Tavion, which I love. I love how they incorporate Tavion into their business, being that this is a family-style business. And Tavion is one of the main characters who is not an actual family member. We start the episode off with Ryan. He's hanging with his granddaughter, little Ava. And Ava is just not having it today. She don't want to beat her. She want her mama. She ready to go, okay? So Ryan trying to trick her with some ice cream. Like, maybe we can give you a couple scoops of ice cream and then we call your mama later. Because if I call her right now, mama going to be like, well, why I drop her off with him? She ain't gonna never trust me to be with you again by myself, right? So he tried to trick Ava, like, we got some shrimp flavored ice cream. She's like, I want vanilla. He said, oh, you right. That's vanilla, right? So he tried to give her 2 scoops of ice cream, which is what the little girl wanted. Got that first scoop in there, no problem. That second scoop, baby, I don't know if it was my TV, there was some yellow vanilla ice cream. Is that the pure vanilla? The one that's made out of vanilla bean when it's that yellow? He was shaking like a mug. The ice cream never fell out that scoop. Ryan, warm water. If you don't have the ice cream scoop that got the little thing that swish, little wand already built inside of it, you need warm water that you do between scoops, and that ice cream will slide right on out of there, baby. It'll slide right on out of there. Well, anyway, while he's in there hanging with Ava, we got Deja come in with the baby. Uncle Kevin still haven't seen the baby yet. And Deja's technically on maternity leave. And she's supposed to be returning to work today. But she like, look, I need a couple more weeks or a couple days just to be with my baby bomb, my baby a little more. And Kevin is so happy. Everybody is so happy to see this little bundle of joy come into the room. The little cheek, everybody, oh my God, look at the cheeks. Oh, she's so pretty. I told you I love me a goober. I love me a goober. So they was all praising the baby when Deja asked Debbie for a couple more weeks off. She's like, what you need a couple more weeks for? She said to bond with the baby. What does that mean, child? She said, she need a little bit more time to get to know me. I need a little more time to get to know her, to bond with her. Debbie said it's about breastfeeding. She said breastfeeding moms are lazy. Child. She said it's a new fandangle thing. All these new moms, they want to breastfeed. That's just pure laziness. Because if they wasn't lazy, they can get a real job and they can go out and buy formula. First of all, Debbie, I thought breastfeeding was the old school way. When we started sticking our kids on this damn formula, that's when we started being lazy. Because, we wanted to just get it done and get it out the way. We wanted to have the baby attached to our tatas all day long, nibbling and sucking and stuff like that. When did breastfeeding moms be considered lazy? But in Debbie's mind, that's all it is. She just want to be lazy, stay home and breastfeed. She going to be breastfeeding for a long time. But Debbie say that she had Ryan on December 10th. On December 11th, she was back at work. And he turned out all right. He looking like, I don't know about all that, but okay. No, he did turn out pretty all right. This is I love this family. I do. I absolutely love this family. But, she stuck the baby. She started holding the baby. And, of course, Debbie just melted holding her great-grandchild in her arm. This, oh, woo, 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 woo. And Ryan is like, look, see, that's what you should do when you walked in the door. Should have handed her the baby right then. Then she couldn't resist telling you no. So don't ask no questions before you hand her the baby. Give her the baby first. Debbie was giving her the baby back and was like, ooh, this is a heavy child. She almost broke my doggone arm, threw it out of socket on a heavy baby. The baby's adorable. Oh my goodness, the baby's adorable. Well, Deja had already worked out her not coming back for a week at least with Tavion. Tavion basically is an assistant embalmer. He normally working with Kevin, embalming bodies, prepping the bodies, making them up, with clothing them and everything, going to pick up families, things like that. That's normally Tavion's job. Well, she had already talked to Tavion about taking over some of her office duties. And Ryan and Kevin are both on board with that. They think that Tavion has always presented himself to be a stellar employee. So Miss Debbie was cool with it. She was like, fine, all right, we could do that. Well, Tavion's whole thing is he's always wanted to do this. He wants to learn the business. He's normally there to be with the bodies because he likes working with the dead, which is totally opposite of what Reagan said. She's like, no, you want to go the whole 9 yards, I want to stay 2, maybe just 2, you know what I'm saying? But he want to learn everything. So he said, he first started this job, he thought it was just all about in working with the dead bodies, but he realized it's about dealing with the living families, it's about dealing with the paperwork. There's a lot of things that's going on. But one of the jobs that Deja had to do was to send out gift boxes to the family members. I don't know how I will feel about this, y'all. So what they do is they put a candle, a nice little handwritten note saying happy birthday with Jesus or something like that. Something a little nice uplifting message on the anniversary of their loved one's death. I think for me that probably would draw up more bad memories. Now I did receive an anniversary card, a 1-year anniversary card from the funeral service that did my aunt's burial, the one that I was in charge of putting together, and it was just a card, but a whole gift box and carrot packet with candle, I don't know, that probably would have moved me in a way that I didn't want to be moved. Like I probably would have been brought to extreme tears. But I still, at the same time, would have appreciated that the fact that the funeral service thought of me, thought enough to make me this handwritten note and, give me out a little gift, everything. So Tavion ready to roll. He said, okay, this seems like it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot, but I got this. I'm ready to do this. I've been wanting to be a mortician since I was 4 years old. Who dreams of being a mortician as a child at 4 years old? I got some fruit right here. I'm about to knock off the table, y'all. Hold on. Let me eat a piece of soup. I knocked my fruit up. Ooh, that's sour. That grape was sour right there. I have to follow up with a sweet one. The green ones are sour. The grape ones, they good in mud. I got strawberries in it too. No strawberries. Strawberries fire, y'all. Anywho. But he said his mother died, Tavion. Mother died when he was 4 years old. And people took a lot of pictures at the funeral service and everything. And all he remembered is just standing there in front of his mother's casket the entire funeral. He would not move. And so he's in all the pictures. And he was just standing there because he said that he knew he had to take care of her. He had to make sure she was safe, even in death. That's when he knew at that moment that he wanted to be a mortician. He was 4 years old. I mean, that's a wise feeling to have for a child. It's a mature feeling to have for a child. And you would think that would be something that might have turned a child off, having experienced death at that young age. But no, he was like, I knew I need to make her safe and comfortable and feel warm. And so he wants to bring that same feeling to every other family that he works with and deals with. So, Ryan doing his thing. Not Ryan, Tavion doing his thing. Uncle Kev came in, was like, what's up? What you doing, dog? What you doing? And I chatted for a bit. And I love how Uncle Kev just encourages this young man. He tells him, like, when you first came in here, I saw a bright and shining star in you, and it's just getting brighter and brighter as the time goes on. There's a future in this for you. You say this is what you want to do. I could see you having a funeral home of your own. I could see you, running this business with your eyes closed and your hands tied behind your back because you're that good, young man. And Tavion is just like, yes, sir, thank you, sir. And he feels so appreciative of talking and working with Uncle Kev. Like, I could really learn a lot. Come to find out, Uncle Kevin had started embalming bodies way before he even went to school for it. You didn't have to go to embalming school for that. And he said his first embalming situation was this lady named Shirley, and it was a really good experience for him. And like Tavion was like, oh, like, really? How was it? How did you feel from it? He was really interested in learning what Uncle Kev's first was. You know, like somebody that just really like he didn't just talking just to be talking. He gets really involved in in this. And Kevin just kept encouraging you're doing a doggone good thing. You're looking good. You're dressing nice. You coming in here. You very presentable to the guests, and things are just working out, brother. He said, it's a ladder right there for you. You climbing it. Go ahead and keep climbing your way to the top. I was like, okay now. Now on the other side of things, Ryan comes in with the urn into Debbie's office. Debbie like, look here, I'm doing my crossword puzzle. You need to come back in 30 minutes. I feel her because I be doing my logic puzzle like that, and I'm like, don't bother me. Especially because I be doing my logic puzzle on timer. Don't come interrupt me. I'm doing my logic puzzle, and they on the timer, and you mess my score up, and then I forget where I done put the dots and said this was the right answer, and the X said that was the wrong answer. I be forgetting what order I did it in order. Yeah, leave me alone when I'm doing my logic puzzles, right? But anywho, Ryan's whole idea was that more and more people are starting to cremate bodies instead of having actual funeral services. First of all, it doesn't cost a lot. It doesn't cost a lot at all. With my aunt, I chose to do not a funeral. We did a viewing of the body and then a graveside service, which saved us a few thousands of dollars. I know my aunt would have probably preferred a big shindig. She was the funeral queen. I couldn't see myself spending that type of money for her homegoing, for people who wasn't there for her in her life. You know what I'm saying? She had people that she grew up with. Those friends had passed on themselves, but we had other family members who just wasn't really there. We had a few. Then they would come in and check in on her. My cousin Heidi was doing the same as me. She was always there for my Aunt Barbara. But there were so many other people who loved her, but they just wasn't physically present for her. So I was like, I'm not gonna throw no funeral just so they can come in, we could celebrate her, have this little graveside service, then we go have a celebration of life for her afterwards. That's what we did. But my grandmother actually got cremated, but she got cremated by the morgue, by LA County, because my grandmother OD'd, and they found her body in a hotel out in LA. And I think I told y'all the story before about how me and my grandmother was very disconnected. She was very disconnected from my mother as well. My stepfather was like in hiding. My step-grandfather was in hiding. But when she died, the LA coroner's office tracked him down. It was like, your wife has died. And her cremation was like $400. So it was $400 compared to thousands, $5,000 to $10,000 that it cost to have an actual funeral service. Yeah, and then a lot of our funeral service, and then on top of that too, my aunt had an insurance policy, and I wanted her child to benefit from the insurance policy instead of having to pay all that money to the funeral service. So we did like a $2,000 or $3,000 graveside service, and then all the rest of the insurance money we gave it to her daughter. That's the way it happened. And then like I actually had a policy that was in my name that me and my cousin, I split it with her because I say me and my cousin, we was the two that was there for her through her final years, always around. She did just as much as I did. So yeah, I split the policy that I had with her. So back to Ryan. Debbie is like, she ain't really keen on the idea, but let me hear what you got, right? So Ryan had 2 buildings that he wanted to present her. One of them needed a lot of repairs. The other ones, he said, was right around the corner. It was close, right? So Debbie was like, fine, let's go look at this place. You know what I'm saying? I think Ryan presented her with the 2 buildings because he knew for certain she was going to knock one of them down. The one with the repairs was going to be a definite no, right? So they go into this little event space. This place is really nice. He wants to turn it into basically the cremation ceremony place, you know what I'm saying? Because he said they have more and more ceremonies than they are actual traditional funerals. So it'd be good to have a separate space specifically for them, have another cremation room there, the kitchen, everything, the memorial service, everything can happen in that one building. And they walked in first. I think Debbie was looking for something to be wrong, and it didn't seem like there was anything wrong with it. The ideas that Ryan was laying out for me made sense to me, but I don't run a funeral business. So she pretty much honed in on the price. It was $200,000 for the building. I thought that was hella cheap. I need to go back to the Midwest where properties are affordable. Ooh, they're not affordable here in Florida. I need to go back to the Midwest. I ain't got no more purple grapes other than this one. Them green grapes was sour. Juicy. juicy. But yeah, so they go back, and she pretty much tell him on the way home that based off of the building that we in now, the location is not good, which Ryan said is comparable to where we are now. And then all the work that she said has to be done to make it an easy flowing place. She don't want to deal with it. So Ryan said, no matter what, if I come up with an idea and she tell me no, that's gonna be the end of it. She gonna try to pull the card like mama knows best. So you know what, I'm gonna let her have her way. And Debbie said, no, I don't do that. Yeah, you do that. You always do that. He said, and then they make so bad when you do it. You come back 6 months later to a year talking about, ooh, look at this idea I had. It came to me in my dreams. God, bless me with that thought. And now present the same idea that I just presented to you. And Debbie knows she do that. She's like, well, at least you recognize it. Because she was laughing and giggling, you know what I'm saying? They have a really cute relationship between one another. Even though, she kind of hard on him a little bit. It's still a cute hard, to me. I still think Debbie crazy, that one thing. But Ryan said, him and his mother, they basically best friends, They kind of got more of a sister-brother relationship. But like I said, in business, mama try to pull the mama card often. Well, back at the funeral home, it's Tavion's first funeral that he has to run. He's doing the setup of the sanctuary, greeting the family, and everybody said that they knew he was going to be able to greet the family with no problem because he's always nice, he's always respectful. That's just who he has been as a person working for this company. And everything ran good. Like even Miss Debbie came in like, you did a good job, Tavion. She didn't complain. You know how she always complained about Debbie, about Deja and Reagan, like, no, move the flowers there. I don't like it right there. Change that to the pink and the white. Do this, that, and the third. She had all kinds of suggestions, but she had none of that for Tavion that we saw. The funeral went smoothly. He was so compassionate to the family members, all the way down to the being a pallbearer with the rest of the family. Tavion was like knocking it out the park. Well, it's Deja's time to come back to work now. And we see Reagan in there baking one of her little famous cakes and everything. And Deja come back in like, hey. Well, on the day that Deja's returning back to work, guess what? Tavion got promoted. Ryan decided to promote him to assistant facilities manager, which is Deja's assistant, I believe. I think that is what, because I think Debbie's the director. No, Ryan is the director. Debbie's the manager. I think Deja's the facilities manager. So he's the assistant facilities manager. And shoot, according to Debbie, he did a job way better than Deja ever could. Because he not only did he handle his own job, he handled hers too. Yeah. Deja's like, dog, you just gonna let her talk to me like that? You know what I'm saying? But in all, it was good, fun, lighthearted moment. Everybody was celebrating Tavion's promotion. He feel like he's really part of the family now. You know what I'm saying? To get that type of position and not to actually be a blood member. Everybody kept saying, welcome to the family, welcome to the family. And he's just like, this feels good. This feels good. And this episode made me feel good. Made me feel a whole lot better. So this Buried by the Bernards, yeah, I'm still working through these episodes. It's only 8 of them. And I'm going to take my time. When I need a little feel-good moment, I'm probably going to come back next week. But when I need a feel-good moment, I'm going to turn on Buried by the Bernards, because this family always makes me smile. Such an enjoyable show to watch. If you remember this episode, leave your comments down in the comment section about how it made you feel to see Tavion moving on up in the all Bernard funeral services, business. I think, like Ryan said, that they're going to eventually get that second building and they're going to put Tavion in charge. Watch what I say. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.